step up and address distracted driving as a threat to public safety as serious as impaired driving and speeding, for example. When we talk about impaired driving, we should also talk about distracted driving. When we fund impaired driving programs, we should also be funding distracted driving programs. When we make strong impaired driving laws with great ease, mind you, we should also be able to advance distracted driving legislation. Initial coalition members include traffic safety partners such as the NTSB and NHTSA, and some new partners, including nonprofits such as NDD and StopDistractions.org, and academics such as Montana State University, the Virginia Tech Transportation Institute, and Yale University. I'm very excited that we have a plan and are ready to invite others to join us. We know that new approaches must be taken, and we must make sure our outreach is as inclusive as possible. We must leave no stone unturned and seek diverse partners who can help us reach policymakers, funders, and drivers with the most persuasive message. We have an amazing group gathered here today who will speak to you in more detail about our plan moving forward. At this time, it's my pleasure to introduce Bruce Landsberg, who was appointed NTSB Vice Chairman in 2018, making him the 43rd member of the board. Prior to this, Bruce was the Executive Director of the Air Safety Foundation until 2010. He then became president of the AOPA Foundation and Air Safety Institute until he retired in 2014. Under his leadership, the organization received international recognition and numerous awards for promoting light aircraft safety. He served in the U.S. Air Force as a missile launch officer and on many government committees promoting aviation safety, including NASA's Aviation Safety Reporting System. Bruce?
Thank you, Janet. As she's just mentioned, my background is in aviation, and in no other mode of transportation would we accept the kind of carnage that we have on our highways. Distracted driving is one significant and growing part of that. It has to stop. We're killing literally thousands of people every year. And when we just focus on the fatalities, that's only part of it. The life-altering injuries, which are measured in the hundreds of thousands, is a real problem. And this National Distracted Driving Coalition is a result of the efforts of literally hundreds of organizations, all working separately and in their local areas. But we need to have a national strategy. It's a national problem. And so this group is coming together here to provide the resources and the expertise to allow these local groups to do much more than what they are now doing. The NTSB is not a regulator, so we can't force the regulation side of the business to do things. Our job is to look at the facts, and then decide what's the best way to go about doing it, or just to say we need to fix this, and we'll leave it up to the regulators to make that decision. Since 2008, the NTSB has recommended that cell phones be disabled while driving vehicles. That hasn't worked yet. And we've killed literally tens of thousands of people as a result of this. So with the creation of this coalition, we'd like to think that we're in a position to start moving this forward. There is no human life worth the convenience of your cell phone call. And when we talk about economics, which is the driver for almost everything, when we talk about economics, recognize that it's costing the nation hundreds of billions of dollars every single year because of this. And it's costing each of us individually that. And if you're unfortunate enough to be touched by one of these horrific crashes, it goes way beyond anything that money could buy. So with that, I will let the experts here in the room provide some additional background. Thank you. And please, when you're driving, put the phone down. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Chairman, for all of your hard work over the years and dedication to the issue of distracted driving. Your leadership on this issue has meant so much to so many families all across the country, including myself. It was September of 2008 when my family's life changed forever. That was when we got the phone call that told me a driver who was talking on their cell phone took my mother's life. It's been 13 years since that day. And back then, we saw efforts to combat distracted driving really ramp up. In the years following, we saw this emerging issue causing countless crashes and deaths, and we all got to work on it. Due to this focus, traffic deaths hit an all-time low of 32,479 in 2011, which is still way too many, but we were making progress. But then the phone continued to evolve, and unfortunately, our efforts have not kept pace. Sadly, we have witnessed those efforts dwindle on a national scale, and we no longer have that same determination and desire to end this deadly behavior. We no longer have the annual meetings. We no longer, have the networking groups. We no longer have a plan. We don't have that dedication on multiple levels like we did then. The dangers of distracted driving sometimes get forgotten. Like when we talk about the rising number of crashes, we hear about speeding and seatbelts and impaired driving, but distracted driving is not mentioned. Have we given up? Is it too hard? Is it inconvenient? Why are we not doing as much as we were back a decade ago? Being one of the leading cause of crashes, you talk to law enforcement, they say majority of their crashes are caused by distraction. You see it every day when you look around. All these signs point to the cell phone causing exponential growth in crashes year over year. COVID didn't make that go away. It made it worse. We over-relied on our technology to communicate with everyone we loved. We are even more addicted now. Data shows drivers are now on the phone up to 50% more behind the wheel for non-call device use from 2019. We're on Zoom, conducting meetings when we're driving. Drivers are on TikTok recording videos, and they're saying they're not driving distracted because they're not texting. We have to make sure people understand even recording a video is distraction. What we know works is when we have everyone working together to find the common ground that we can all work toward. We will not always agree on everything or on the best way to get to that goal line. But what we can do is work on what we can agree on. We can find ways to make it work. We should all have a seat at the table and be willing to do our part to save lives. And that's what the National Coalition on Distracted Driving is made to do, and that's its goal. This was modeled after the Canadian Coalition on Distracted Driving with the help of Canadian co-chair Robin Robertson from TURF. So we are not reinventing the wheel. We have had guidance to put this information together. We conducted an environmental scan with over 49 companies and organizations and individuals across the country to get a national picture of where we were. And then we had the steering committee members join us to develop a plan. And that is what we unveiled today. This plan will be a constant work in progress. We will need to evolve and keep pace with the technology. And we need your help. We need others to join us, to go to the website and sign on to get involved, because we all have a part to play. We must do the work for the families, so no more have to feel the insurmountable loss that too many of us have already felt. We also can never ignore those crashes that have left individuals seriously injured. You don't always lose your life, but you lose life as you know it. So with that, I invite you to please join us, help us, and I would like to then turn it over to David. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry about that. Actually, with that, I would like to introduce one of our champions in the States, Representative John Carson. He was the sponsor of the Hands-Free Georgia law, and he has also been a champion across the country to help us with other states. So, John.
No worries. Thank you, Jennifer. It's an honor to be selected for this coalition. This is a issue that was I became familiar with this issue and was introduced to this issue almost 4 years ago. Actually serving on an insurance committee at the state capitol in Atlanta, Georgia. And we were looking at how insurance premiums have just gone through the roof. And if you take a poll in any room that you're in, most people say they're paying far more for insurance than they were just 3-4 years ago. And what we started to do is peel back the onion in regard to what is causing this increasing premiums. And we found out that insurance companies are actually still losing money despite the increasing premiums. And it's because of a higher number of claims. And what's behind the claims is a higher number of crashes. What's behind the crashes is driver inattention. And the result behind that is a number of families whose son is not coming home that night, a daughter who's not coming home that night. And so what really started off as a way to look at insurance premiums and lowering the cost of insurance really became about saving lives. We were successful in passing the Georgia hands-free law with a number of the folks that you see here in 2018, because really it was about a broad coalition. We had the medical community, the insurance community, public safety, law enforcement, even bicyclists and motorcyclists care about this issue, because no one really opposed this issue. In fact, no one spoke against it in committee or what have you. Only a few legislators did, and we're able to turn some hearts and minds around on this issue. I've been honored to help with legislation or legislators in states such as Arizona, Alabama, North Carolina, South Carolina, Missouri, and Indiana, and I look forward to helping with this coalition with others. One thing I've mentioned when we were debating the hands-free law in Georgia is more important than just a law. What we want to do is change the culture. Years ago, driving while intoxicated by alcohol was not as socially taboo as it is today. That's where we want to get to with regard to distracted driving. You know, in today's society, in 2021, we are very much divided. We are very much divided politically. We're divided socially. We're as divided as ever before, potentially. But this is one area where we can unite as a community that doesn't cost us anything except for changing behavior. And changing behavior will result in saving lives. Honored to be part of this coalition. Look forward for its good work. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. My name is David Bronstein, and I happen to be the president of Together for Safer Roads. For those of you who don't know what we call TSR, we are a business coalition, and we are here representing one small part of the business community, but I think it's an important symbolic, more than just symbolic aspect of this coalition. One of the things that I realize, having led this organization, we are businesses that are wholly focused on road safety. Community must be an important part. And we are here to say that the business community will be an important part of this coalition's success. There is no reason to think that economics and business interests and social impact are competing. I know this because of the work that we do day in and day out with our coalition members, large companies, small companies. That is what we are founded on, the principle that social impact and business impact do not compete. That is a very powerful notion, and this coalition understands it. And we are here as a representatives of the business community to include business engagement as a part of this initiative. And I promise you that that will be a very powerful part of the way that we get results. We can no longer do things the way that we've been doing them for the last 10 or 15 years. Let's do this together and realize that business impact and social impact are the same thing. And we should hold everybody, including the business community, to a higher standard. Let's do that. We can solve this problem. We have businesses that are members of our communities that want to do the right thing, and we will bring them along with us. And thank you for the opportunity to be part of the steering committee. And we are really looking forward to engaging as many businesses and as many individuals in this process as possible, because that's the way we're going to be successful together. With that, I would like to bring up one of Together for Safe Roads board members. Republic Services here. Diane Sweat is here representing our board, and she'll talk a little bit more about how Republic looks at this issue and why we can truly believe that the business community is going to be a productive part of this coalition. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Diane Swed from Republic Services. Republic Services operates over 15,000 commercial motor vehicles in 41 states. With immense street presence comes a tremendous responsibility to operate safely and distraction-free. We owe it to our professional drivers, their friends, their families, and to the general public to be a partner in the community in making our roads safer. This is in part why Republic Services became a member of Together for Safer Roads. It allows us to work with like-minded organizations and companies that are instrumental in developing strategies and new technologies around driver safety. Republic Services is working relentlessly to eliminate life-changing events resulting from motor vehicle crashes. Our training programs and company-wide safety messaging are centered around safe driving practices, crash prevention, and eliminating distracted driving. Our commitment to work collaboratively with organizations like Together for Safer Roads will continue so that we can be a part of the solution and maintain focus on the importance of safety for all drivers. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Charlie Clower, and I am a research scientist at the Virginia Tech Transportation Institute, as well as an associate professor of industrial and systems engineering in the Grotto Department of Industrial Engineering at Virginia Tech. As a researcher, we follow the data, and our very unique studies that we conduct at the Virginia Tech Transportation Institute really focus on understanding the behaviors that drivers engage in as they are interacting with traffic. Our studies have found that driver inattention, primarily those types of tasks that force drivers to look away from the forward roadway and potentially physically manipulate other items, those are the types of tasks that we find directly are related to crash risk increases. So we are very proud to be part of this coalition to assist in this very multi-pronged approach that includes all of these great stakeholders to reduce fatalities and injuries on our roadways that are due to distracted driving. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon. My name is Danny Sharp. I'm the chair of the Highway Safety Committee for the International Association of Chiefs of Police. And as the chair, we have a huge responsibility to our 31,500 members to make sure that we're doing everything we can to to assist and prevent these needless crashes from occurring. The bottom line is that traffic safety is public safety, and we know that these crashes are 100% preventable. And so I'm proud to be part of a coalition where we can figure out ways that we can bring diverse groups together so we can address this public health crisis that we have in this country and start doing something that's going to have meaningful results. There are 3 E's of traffic safety. There's engineering, there's education, and there's enforcement. And the police have a huge role in making sure that not only are we enforcing, but we're also educating. We're also providing data to our engineers, and we're also providing the data to our professionals so we can do the things that are necessary to eliminate this problem that we have. So on behalf of IACP and the Highway Safety Committee, we're thrilled to be part of this coalition and look forward to some great results in the coming years.
Good afternoon. My name is Steve Kiefer, and I'm the chairman of the Kiefer Foundation, which is a small nonprofit out of Michigan that was founded just under 5 years ago in memory of my son, Mitchell. Mitchell was killed by a distracted driver 5 years ago this Sunday, the 19th of September, 2016. This is Mitchell. And I got to tell you, as many times as I've told this story, it does not get easier. The loss of a child is something that no one can imagine until it happens to you. Mitchell was in his first year at Michigan State University. He was in his first month at Michigan State University, driving back to school on a Monday morning, September 19th, 2016. The weather was perfect. The sun was out. The roads were dry. It was 7:50 in the morning. There was a little traffic jam. Mitchell slowed down, and unfortunately, the young lady behind him did not. She was also on her way back to university, and she rear-ended Mitchell's car at 82 miles per hour and drove him across a very narrow median, 52 feet wide, no guardrails, into oncoming traffic, and Mitchell was hit by a truck and killed instantly. And as difficult as this was for us to deal with as a family, what was shocking to me and my family is to learn that we're not alone. And all of you have probably seen some of the stats. Some say 9, some say 10 people per day are killed by distracted drivers. I think most of us believe it's much, much higher than that, maybe 50 people per day. And frankly, we know that 94% of vehicle crashes are the result of human error. Many of those are distracted or impaired driving. So we know that this is a huge problem. And I just I say to all of you, because we find that people don't change behavior until it affects them personally. Please don't let it wait. Don't wait till this happens to you. Please get involved and help change behavior now, because you do not want to go through what we've gone through. I also, in some ways, am pleased to find that we're not alone because of the coalition. What we found is dozens, maybe hundreds of other nonprofit organizations that are attacking the same kind of mission that we have, a mission to end distracted driving. And the Kiefer Foundation is just extremely honored and proud and pleased to be part of this coalition, because I think together we can be much stronger. Very quickly, the Kiefer Foundation was established to end distracted driving. We have 3 pillars that we're focused on. One is awareness, one is technology, and one is legislation. From a technology standpoint, we've worked with the local MDOT, Michigan Department of Transportation. We put cable guardrails in the place where Mitchell's crash occurred. A cable guardrail would have saved Mitchell's life. I'm pleased now that we've got cable guardrails in throughout Michigan that were funded in part by the Kiefer Foundation, and we know we're saving lives. From an awareness standpoint, we've gone into schools with simulators. We've gone out with awareness programs throughout the state and throughout the country. Most recently, we were pleased to have Tom Brady introduce a Just Drive campaign that was kicked off at the beginning of the 4th of July weekend, encouraging people to put down their phones and just drive. This has also been joined by Mark Wahlberg and some other celebrities, and we hope to get more people on board to create this awareness. But finally, the legislation piece is what we're most focused on right now. 24 states now have what we call hands-free laws in place, and we're hoping to make Michigan the 25th state to bring these bills into law, and we're hoping to get that done yet this year. I'm confident with the support of this great coalition, we'll be able to get this done not only for Michigan, but then for the other 26 states. And frankly, this is a global problem, and we've taken this message around the world. And I'm hoping, again, with the support of this coalition, we're able to change behavior around the world and save lives. Thank you, and great to be part of today's event.
So I want to thank all of our steering committee members that have joined us today to share some remarks and to share some support, some great support for this coalition. We're going to end things by challenging and encouraging each one of you to go to our website and to join the coalition. So it is live. You can join today. Please join us in this effort, in this movement to save lives. Thank you.
Thank you all.